Well, here we are once again with Ryan Haug. You hopefully saw him on the February 3rd video, and if you haven't, I invite you to go back and look at that. At that point, Ryan was riding or had ridden or was in the process of the Arrowhead 135 fat bike race that, and like I said, go back there and you'll find out all kinds of information. But since that time, Ryan was able to participate in the Iditarod Trail Invitational, which takes place in Alaska. Ryan did, well, it was 350 miles listed, but how many was it in reality?
I think I might have had 320 or something.
320, and that wasn't even getting lost, which he usually does. But anyway, we're going to kind of tell you a little bit about not so much the race report from Alaska itself. There will be a few pictures and maybe a little video thrown in here that Ryan had taken, but we're going to hit some highlights of some things that he experienced and some things that connect Ryan to real life events. So anyway, you were getting ready to take off to leave Fargo, North Dakota, to head out on your adventure to Alaska, which, by the way, he shipped his bike to Anchorage.
Yep.
He didn't take it on the plane.
Yes.
But what happened when you were getting ready to go?
So I was going to fly out on Wednesday, I think the 22nd. The event was on Sunday, so I wanted enough time to get up there and get settled. And then there was a winter storm on its way, and the flight got canceled the day before. So luckily I was working with a travel agent in town, and we got it rescheduled. So I took off. I was able to take off Wednesday morning, like at 11 a.m., flew to Denver to Anchorage, made it Wednesday night.
All right.
So there.
Yeah. So what you thought, because you sent me a text and went, the flight got canceled. And it's like, oh no, is he going to get to Anchorage to this big event in his life? But that was not the first time that Ryan's had things in his life change. Some things I'm going to let Ryan share with you that it would impact anybody's life. Well, so then you finally made it to Anchorage, and what did you do from that time to the start?
During that time, met up with other racers who were staying at the hotel. The Hyatt place was the hotel, kind of the race headquarters. So it was nice to get to know people, and some people I did know, and Perry Jewett from South Dakota, who I rode with. So we met up, and basically that week was just get the bike, or those few days, it was get the bike ready, and went out riding a little bit, and just kind of some little preparation, fine-tuning, deciding looking at the weather and deciding what I'm going to bring.
And kind of getting some of the nerves out just to get the feel of the place. And
exactly.
And if you watch the February 5th video about Arrowhead, at the start there's fireworks, there's all sorts of stuff. How was the start of this world-famous Iditarod Trail?
Well, there's no fireworks, but it was at 2 p.m. though, so...
2 in the afternoon.
Yep. So we get in the dark sooner, I think. And it was a beautiful day, though. I mean, it was about 15 degrees, sunny, and it was at a bar. And, yeah, there was quite a few people out,
The start is at a bar?
That's where they started from. Yeah.
Well, did everybody get out of the bar? No, don't answer that.
But we were able to get there in time to eat a meal and then get ready. So that's when the nerves were really going.
Okay.
So just let's go and get going.
And did it feel good once you got on the trail and got started?
Yep, it did, because here we go.
Yep. And so did you, as you got started, at least as I watched on your people were pretty bunched together.
Yep. We were riding pretty tight, and then it came in the first checkpoint. There's many different ways to get there, and they don't give you any route to get there. So that's where me and Perry were riding together, and we came to not a T, but there was a turn. Half the people took a right, and we kept going straight. And Perry and I had 2 different GPX tracks, but we ended up using mine, which looking back, was the wrong one. I mean, we got to the first checkpoint. It just took a little longer, the route we took.
There you go. You added some miles.
Yep.
Typical Ryan House.
6 extra miles, but that's
So-
how it goes.
So you start and people could branch out and take
Yep.
different routes, but you ended up at the same checkpoint to start with, and then from there on the route was pretty well.
Yeah.
What kind of temperatures did you have up there during the day and during the night?
I think the first night it got probably down to -20, -25 on the river. And, you know, during the day, most part, like maybe it was 0, 5 above. The midweek, there was a day it was snowing where I think it hit maybe 15.
Okay.
Like, you know, the low teens. But for cold temps, it was like -20, -25. Maybe I heard maybe -30, which wasn't bad for Alaska. I mean, it could have gotten a lot colder.
And you had prepared yourself for maybe what kind of cold temperature?
That's what I've been in those temps before. So I knew, you know, what clothing would work and stuff. If it would have gotten colder, like -35, -40, that would be an uncharted territory.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
I don't know.
Kind of a blend of what you had prepared for,
Yep.
and yet it
Yep.
could be worse. We're also going to show you here a photo that Ryan holds in great esteem because it's one of these iconic things, and he's going to tell you a little bit about getting to Rainy Pass. So there was a picture at Rainy Pass, but before that, you stopped at the is it called Rainy Pass Lodge?
Yes.
And at a checkpoint. But what happened there? This was before he got up to that where the picture was taken.
That we ended up getting to Rainy Pass Lodge about 4:30 in the afternoon, which is early, you know, to continue on. But we were talking to a couple seasoned veterans there, Bill Fleming and Matt Tanaka. And they said the weather's just crap on the pass. Didn't recommend rookies riding that in the dark with bad weather. So we stayed at the cabin by the lodge until the next morning and took off about 9 a.m. up the pass and Bill Fleming came with us and he was riding with us, and he's done the 350 many times. He's done the 1,000, and he was doing the 1,000 again this round. So he knew what we were in for.
So there were 3 of you in a group.
Yep.
And then Bill joined in. So
Yep.
the 3 of you were rookies.
Yep.
And Bill's the veteran.
Yep.
Why did you listen to the veteran? Come on, you're young, you're smart, you're tough, you're trained. Why did you listen to the veteran?
Because I'm not stupid.
Because you're not stupid. I like that answer. And so you're also going to see here, I'm going to splice in a bit of a video they took of kind of wind conditions and the terrain at Rainy Pass.
Up on Rainy Pass, Harry Jewett coming. Got the wind howling a bit.
So Ryan got his picture taken at that Rainy Pass sign, which was kind of halfway between 2 checkpoints. So must have felt pretty good to know that the rest of the race was downhill, right?
Well, it was a great feeling to get that photo by the sign. So that just, you know, we were all just happy. I mean, just elated. So, and then going down, working our way through the Donzel Gorge. At first, it was downhill. Some snow we had to kind of push through, but then it became rideable as we rolled into Roan, which was checkpoint number 5. Okay. And I can't remember, I think it was around what time we hit Roan. Must have been maybe 10 that night.
Okay.
10 p.m.
All
Yeah.
right. So then you left Roan checkpoint, and the next one was Nikolai as you're getting closer to the finish. Tell us about that day.
That was the longest stretch between checkpoints, and it was either 71 or 80 miles, something like that. And that day, there was quite a bit. The first 40 miles, if I recall, were pretty rideable, but then once darkness fell, there's a lot of open sections where the trail was blown in. So we'd maybe be able to ride through a woods a little ways, and then it'd be into a big open, like either swamp or lake or just open terrain, and it'd be on and off the bike. You try to ride it for a while, and then you just couldn't, and ended up pushing. And the temp was, dropped down. I think that night, around -20, -25.
Okay.
So that took quite a long time. It was, I think we left at 8 a.m. and rolled into Nikolai around 1:45 a.m.
8 in the morning to 1:45.
Somewhere in there.
That,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
what gave you the? I guess you had no options. I don't. Well, you did. You could have camped out. But what made you keep going?
Well, we had a good little group going. It was me, Perry, Alan, and then Bill caught up to us. So it was just, we had a good group rolling. And like you said, there's no option.
Yeah, but I mean, it helped to have the group.
Yeah.
I bet.
Oh yeah. Just to get, in the times you're pushing, you just slugged it out and
Yeah.
worked your way there. We got there.
Had some company in the tough times.
Oh yeah. It was good. I mean, it was, it was Alaskan backcountry.
All right. And then when you made your final push to McGrath, how was that feeling? Were you kind of glad that, this is going to be done? Or were you kind of sad that, hey, this has been fun, it's been a challenge? And how did the last part of that event go for you?
It was a good, I mean, I knew we had like 40 or 50 miles left from Nikolai, and we started rolling out of there. I think it was around 10 in the morning, and just wanted to get there. The trail started off kind of bad. It was kind of not bad, but it was hard to ride, so there's quite a bit of pushing on and off the bike quite a bit. And then later in the day, it became more rideable, and we were able to roll in around, I think it was 10 p.m.
10 p.m.
10:30 maybe.
10. And were the crowds cheering and hundreds of people there to welcome you to the finish?
A small group at the finish line.
Really?
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
At 10 p.m.
Yep. So they were watching the tracker. They knew we were coming.
And were you just thankful to be off your bike, or was it kind of sad too, or were you just going, hey, I did this?
Yeah, I wasn't sure what I was going to feel. So I was just happy. I mean, it was a great feeling. We got the finish line photo and, went in and started recovering.
All right. And everybody asks, and I know you, would you do it again?
Yes, I would. I would like to do the 350 again. The 1,000, not sure on that yet, but never say never.
Yeah, and the 350 again, because you told me this before, because now you know what to expect.
Yeah, somewhat. I mean, obviously the weather can be totally different, but just all the process of getting my stuff up there, I mean, just kind of the overall route, it was just, now I have it in my head of kind of how it flows.
Yeah. So Ryan completed it. He did a good job. And if you know anything about Ryan, looked at the previous video, he's a good athlete. He knows how to train his body. He used to be a runner, but then got into biking. And so, but as he said, if you're going to be out there for 10, 12, 14, 15 hours at a time, there's more than physical endurance that has to be a part of making you continue. And Ryan has learned some of that in other ways. So I'm going to let Ryan tell you about that.
Yeah, so on a lot of these events, all of these long distance events, the mental side's a huge part of it. And I think what helped me with that was earlier in my life, 30 years ago, when I was 21, I was going through chemo for Hodgkin's disease, and did 7 months of chemo, and that really helped me. I mean, it was a mental and physical experience, but I think just the mental part of this stuff, looking back, going through that helped me do some of these events.
Yeah, that idea that you got to keep going.
Yeah, you just have to get through it.
Even if it doesn't, you had to have some days with chemo that you did not feel well at all.
No, yeah, there was definitely some days. I mean, I had my age going for me. I was young, 21, And at that time, I wasn't exercising though, which I probably should have been.
Okay, so you were smoking, drinking,
No.
and carousing at 21.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, that stuff. And then you had veterans there, not only the medical community, but you knew other people who had dealt with cancer before too. So you had kind of like with your support on the Iditarod Trail, you had others going with you on this journey.
Oh yeah, friends and family in the Roger Maris Cancer Center were great people, and Dr. Steen was a wonderful doctor. And yeah, that helped me get through it. Because at that point in my life, I'd never dealt with cancer, never thought about cancer, and wasn't sure what to expect.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Ryan, for not only telling us about Iditarod, giving us some video footage, some snapshots that have been in here, but thanks for sharing about what it takes to just keep moving forward in life, whether it be on a bike or on foot or whatever.
Thanks, Dan.
Oh, you're welcome. And thank you once again for watching.